Record. All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Rines Report. I'm your host, Tristan Blake Rines. Unfortunately, not joined in the studio this week by Nicholas Penninger. It's just been a weird few weeks for all of us. Been doing some trips. We've had breaks. There's just been a lot of internship things going on with myself. Just trying to get all that sorted out for the next semester. But thank you so much for bearing with me. And I'm going to try to give you guys a really good show today. So if you're a first-time listener, be sure to like the Rines Report Facebook page where we go live, post updates, and provide the biggest news in sports on a daily basis. Give me a subscribe on YouTube when you search Tristan Blake Rines and a follow on Twitter at Tristan Rines. Now that I'm done with my shameless plugging, let's get back to the rest of the show. Jon Gruden looks like $100 million mistake. And I say this because he's trading away his best assets. Of course, we all know Khalil Mack was traded early in the season. Amari Cooper most recently at the trade deadline. They're getting a lot of picks so he can get his guys. I feel like Gruden is just trying to rebuild this team in his own image, but it's costing them a lot of their star talent. It's costing, the locker room environment it's costing his morale with the locker room, with the organization, with the team. And I feel like if things don't start turning around really quickly, he's going to lose the entire organization really fast. But the Raiders are stuck because they gave him a 10-year, $100 million contract, and they need this to work. They need it to pan out. They need this long-term idea from Gruden to be worth the amount of money they're paying him. He's getting a ton of picks, but in my opinion, I'd rather have veteran guys who are already tangible assets for your organization. I would rather have these skill guys. I could see Amari Cooper being traded. They got a first-round pick for him. I think that's the biggest victory Jon Gruden's had all season. But you're trading away a lot of your big talent. You're reducing your ability to win games by putting people who aren't ready to be in those positions. You're thrusting them into that spotlight. They have one of the worst pass rushes in the entire NFL at the moment. Their offense just looks so dysfunctional. It's been one of those weird seasons. If you're a Raiders fan, I understand you're probably incredibly frustrated with the organization at the moment because it's more like, hey, what's going on here? What's the long-term goal? We need to have some kind of vision, but right now it's dark days. And you, as a Raiders fan, if you're a Raiders fan out there, you just really have to hope that it's all going to pan out. Now, it makes Dallas a lot better, but I don't think he was worth a first-round pick. Like I said, I think Jon Gruden's biggest move this season, I think they won that trade. The Raiders straight up. I think they won that trade. I think that it helps Dallas offensively because you get a guy who is semi-Dez Bryant-esque. It opens up the passing game. You have guys, it forces the defense to be more aware of this explosive threat. It opens it up for guys like Allen Hurns, Tavon Austin, and Cole Beasley. I think it helps the offense run game-wise, too, because now you have Dak Prescott getting more weapons. You have Dak Prescott having something to have more confidence in. I think they were just coming off of a bye as well. So it gets Amari Cooper a little bit more acclimated with the climate, with the offense in Dallas. Now, let's see. Back to the Gruden thing, though. You really have to hope these picks that you're acquiring are going to work out, because I think they've got a total of, 2 first-round picks in addition to the one they already have for this upcoming draft, if I'm not mistaken. So they have 3 first-round picks this upcoming season. They have an extra one from Chicago, if I'm not mistaken, for next draft as well. So you're hoping they work out. These are guys that Gruden specifically will tailor to this team and his kind of style of football. But I don't really see the big picture because there's a lot of hope you have to have. And who knows, Gruden's had some weird picks in history. I remember seeing a tweet that he posted about him, or he thought that Nathan Peterman, the Bills quarterback at the moment, was the best quarterback in that draft. And I'm pretty sure that was the draft with Deshaun Watson or Carson Wentz in it. And Nathan Peterman, for every 10 passes, throws at least 1 interception. So I have no idea. Gruden's been in, part of the media for the last, better part of a decade, I believe. Even longer than that still. It was always a speculation, when's he coming back, or if he is ever going to come back. He finally makes his comeback, and now the Raiders just look like a complete mess. if he can turn this team into a contender or at least a solid franchise in the next 3 seasons, I think they give him 3 years, 4 years maximum with this deal because they've invested so much in the idea of the Gruden style Raiders, back to the old days Raiders, before they traded him to Tampa. They got a lot invested in this. They need it to work out. I think that if he can turn this team into a contender by like season 3 of this contract, that people are going to be saying, "Oh man, what a genius! This guy's brilliant." But as it sits right now, I don't have a lot of faith in Gruden. Like I said, by year 3, I think the Raiders can cut their losses, move on. But it's just such a heavy contract. You have committed this, large amount of income, this large amount of coin, into this one concept of, hey, we're all in with the Gruden Raiders. Now, there's going to be some more development throughout the rest of the season. There's just a lot of controversy with that locker room overall. I don't think that the team has a passion anymore. They're playing for checks at this point. There's some guys out there who are like, yeah, I just want to keep competing. That's the point. Obviously, there are some guys who have that heart for the game, but at this point in the season, you're just trying not to get hurt. You're just trying to go out there, try to make some plays. You could end up somewhere else in the offseason, considering that he's cutting everyone. I think the only person that really sticks on this team, because I heard Bruce Irvin, they're one of their best outside linebackers, one of their best defensive players in general, was on the trading block close to the deadline, which we will talk about a little bit. I think the only person who sticks around is Derek Carr, just because you need to have a quarterback in today's game. It's an offensive league. Having a good defense is nice and all, but teams that put up points like the Rams, like the Chiefs right now, Patriots in the last month plus, teams that put up points are the ones who end up in the Super Bowl. But a good defense is what can help you win that championship. So the Raiders overall just need to start putting things together within the next year or two. This is no longer we have an opportunity to start winning things this season. No, I have no faith left in the Raiders. I don't think Raiders fans have any kind of faith left. It's just we're looking towards next season. We're moving on. They're the next Cleveland Browns. All right. Sneaky good teams. All right, sneaky good teams. These are teams that have been flying under the radar even still. They got winning records. They're playoff caliber, but they're not teams you talk about a lot. Let's see. Can beat anyone. Like I said, playoff teams. So I got a few teams on this list in general. The Texans are number 1 on my sneaky good team list. And they've put together 5 straight wins, I believe. They got Demaryius Thomas in a trade. They got, Terrence Schofield with a question. Nick is unfortunately not able to join us today, just some outside of the show things. But he will be back at some point, don't worry. Demaryius Thomas, a big pickup for the Houston Texans. The defense is super talented still. Tyrann Mathieu, I think, was a sneaky good pickup in the entire during free agency in the offseason. J.J. Watt is looking like the comeback player of the year. He's always been one of my favorite players personally. Watson has gotten comfortable. Adding Demaryius Thomas, of course, is going to add some more dimensions to the passing game. I still like Kiki Cuddy. I think he's fine. I heard he got hurt or something. But I really like Kiki Cuddy. I think he was a solid second option, but now he could be their effective slot guy. Demaryius Thomas and DeAndre Hopkins, how are you going to defend them both? It's going to be a scary team to look at come December. Plus, they play in a dome, so it's if you have a really good passing attack, you don't have to worry about the elements for half the season. Let's see, the Chargers overshadowed by the Rams in Los Angeles. To be fair, the Rams are stupid good, stupid talented. I feel like Todd Gurley isn't getting enough love. Even though he's getting love, he isn't getting nearly enough love in this MVP debate between him and Mahomes. If Mahomes falls off a cliff, which I don't think he will, I think the kid's the real deal. I like him a lot. Todd Gurley should win the MVP this season, without a doubt in my mind, because he's not slowing down. They've been overshadowed by the Rams in LA, though. With Bosa, their defense will get even better. Derwin James is looking like the defensive rookie of the year. I really liked him out of FSU. I think he could be really solid. The fact that he fell out of the top 10 in the draft is kind of astounding to me. And the offense is scary. You got, you still have Rivers, Gordon. The offensive line is solid. You've got Austin Eckler as a good backup running back. Of course, you got Keenan Allen. Mike Williams. You've got a really good passing attack. Tyrell Williams as well. They've got a really solid passing attack, and you need to look out for them. They're second place in the AFC West, but do not doubt the Chargers. They're a playoff team to me, and just, I'm telling you, don't doubt them. The Redskins. Now, people are starting to realize it, but they're still one of those sneaky good teams. When Adrian Peterson's running the rock, they're winning. I think it was a statistic of if they've given him the ball 17 or more times, they are 5-0 this year. He's eating, man. Adrian Peterson, veteran running back, he's like 33 years old. He's still in stupid good shape. And I think that's the best place that he could have ended up was with the Redskins. They needed that running attack. Unfortunate injuries at the early part of the season. Alex Smith just has to continue being Alex Smith, playing it safe, doing the Alex Smith thing. You're not turning the ball over. You're not pushing it down the field extensively, but you're picking your spots, you're reading your coverages, and he's making consistent throws that are going to pick up some yards. Clinton Dix, a great pickup at the trade deadline from the Packers. I liked him a lot. I thought he was one of the premier safeties in football. Now, we've seen a lot of really good safeties over the years, but Clinton Dix to the Redskins along with DJ Swearinger. Josh Norman's all right. He's a little overhyped still, but Josh Norman's all right. That secondary is going to be really nasty, really good to view and watch. I think Swearinger's one of the more underrated guys in the league, but real NFL fans do realize how good DJ Swearinger is. And the Seahawks, off to a rough start. The running game has solidified, though. They run the ball more than anybody else in the entire NFL. Russell Wilson's doing Russell Wilson things. They just cut Brandon Marshall pretty recently as well. But they got Chris Kaysen, Rashad Penny, and I'm missing one of the other running backs. Not really important. But they are running the ball a lot, and they're shoving it down your throat, and they're not relying on the pass protection to win games. So the Seahawks, they could sneak into the playoffs. I'm not going to guarantee that, but they could very well beat any team on any given Sunday. The defense has actually re-solidified itself. It's no longer that Legion of Boom-esque team. It's no longer, hey, we're going to smash you in the mouth, we're going to beat you, even if our offense sucks today. They have relied on the offense even more this year, but their defense is still no joke. Fantasy owners, I don't know what the numbers look like, but I'm sure they're at least a solid, little better than average defense. Good pickups. Now, this wasn't going to be a very long show. Unfortunately, we're going to be heading to Roanoke, the student leaders. We're going to be exploring, the Roanoke Times a little bit, trying to get a feel for what does a professional office, for journalism look like. So this isn't going to be a very long show. I'm going to get to my picks. I didn't pick the game last night. I'm not going to lie. I didn't even watch it until about the second half after the Celtics and Bucks game was over, which was a great game, by the way. If you missed the Celtics-Bucks game, solid performance by the Celtics. Number one team in the East, in my opinion. But I didn't watch that game. All right. So let me get my picks really quickly. I'm not going to do a lot of explaining, but then I'm just going to head it out. Chicago and Buffalo, taking Chicago 30-0, blowout game. Tampa at Carolina, 27-10. Kansas City at Cleveland, no brainer. Kansas City, but I think Cleveland puts up 17. The New York Jets at the Miami Dolphins, Miami 21-17, close game, could be an upset by the Jets. Pittsburgh at Baltimore, I think Pittsburgh's offense has just been rolling this season, so I'm going to take Pittsburgh 33-20. Baltimore, still a playoff caliber team, but they've just hit this weird rough patch in the middle of the season. Detroit at Minnesota, closest game of the week in my opinion. As far as just the full four quarters, I think we get one or two overtimes. This could very well be an overtime game. I got Minnesota 28-27, really close game, like I said. Atlanta at Washington. Washington's good. I like them. Atlanta's good in their own respect, but they're just not consistent this year. I'm taking Washington 31-24. Especially because they're at home. Houston at Denver. Demaryius Thomas just joined the Texans. He's got the inside information. I'm going to be taking the Texans 30-10. LA Chargers at the Seahawks. This one's a little bit closer for about three quarters, and the Chargers start pulling away at the end. But Seattle could very well win this game. I'm going to take the LA Chargers 27-17. LA Rams at New Orleans. Overtime game. This is the overtime game of the week for me. Could very well end up being the game of the week outside of the Sunday Night Football one. LA Rams 34-28 over New Orleans. Overtime touchdown by Todd Gurley. Green Bay at New England. I'm taking New England late. It's going to be a final drive of the game. These defenses are going to show up for at least the first half. Second half, it opens up a lot. Sunday night game. This could very well be the best game of the season. New England 31-28, and then Monday Night Football, it couldn't be more underwhelming. Tennessee at Dallas. Dallas 20-10, excuse me. So that's the show for this week. Like I said, it's going to be really short. I got to head out of here, but thank you guys so much for listening, for tuning in. Next week, hopefully, we'll be right back on a full hour schedule. I'll have Nicholas Penninger back here in the studio with me, and thank you so much for your support. Have a lovely weekend, guys, and try to avoid some of this rain. All right, take it easy.